frozen. There you go. Shake frozen.
Yeah, you were freezing on my end here a minute ago.
Did I freeze on your end, Doug?
No.
Okay.
Danny did, but you didn't.
Right, did I freeze?
No. Not that I noticed.
The cool girl. Very scary.
Yeah, I made a poster thing, poster graphic.
Oh, okay. That's what
That's
is.
cool.
Yeah.
That's his daughter.
Yeah.
The ghoul girl?
The ghoul girl.
Cool.
I was stuck in a lost dimension of restraint. Just there by myself in a limbo.
Well, I hope the other guests. Well, no, Dan got right in. So you're just stupid. That's the problem.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how. I want to send you some of the pictures I got. I'm trying to open up my old phone right now. It's got all the pictures from the video from California.
Good sir. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, no problem, Rob. Thank you for having me.
Oh, God, dude, I've been wanting you since we did that one guy's show a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought I scared you because I was like, Paul, I want you to come to Tampa. I want to do a ghost hunt with you, live stream. I'll pay you. And you're like, shit. We're just doing a podcast here, man.
That's funny. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Amber, and she goes, oh, you know, Paul Roberts lives out here. And I was like, God damn it. Wait a minute, you know him? I remember him.
Yeah, small world.
I can't remember where it was, but it was a fun show because people are like, you know, this guy, he's an author. He's real serious. Like, he's a ghost hunter. He's not that serious. You can't be that serious. So I'm going to test it out. They said, don't test it out. So I threw out a couple of zingers, and you laughed. You threw out a couple. I was like, see, what's wrong with you guys? He's all right.
That's
Is that the show that shall not be named?
Yeah, from douchebag. Okay, then I gotta, like, is he coming or fucking... Oh, let me see here. Are you coming? Okay. Chris is not coming either. So, it's just gonna be us. That's alright. We're the cool ones anyway. The cool kids.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
All right, that's good.
Okay, so what am I gonna do? Like, oh, this is how I do. And no, still no. My good Lord, I just love that intro.
We are back.
Every time it plays, I want to do like a very fancy, spooky, but fancy little schoolgirl dance. Dun, 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 dun.
You're always a fancy man. fancy
I am a
man.
fancy man. I'm a fancy lad with fancy tastes. Anybody who has had the opportunity to spend any actual time with me understands that I have quite an exclusive taste, an exclusive taste for things that might be distasteful to others. All right.
No.
Welcome, guys, back to Ghosted right here on the new and improved antisocial network. We're coming at you from a new streaming service. As tons of you know, you were typing messages to us, they were never coming through. So we kind of kicked StreamYard to the curb. We're trying something new that boasts unified chat. Feel free to fire away. We're going to take a little trip outside the norm today, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be fun.
I mean, we figured, you know, we review videos, we call them bullshit, or we call them legit. And we do that every week, and it's great. Everybody has a good time. But I think we should tell some ghost stories of our own with some people that have some ghost stories to share. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple bad mothers on with us today, huh?
Yep.
Look, let's bring out my old buddy Dan first. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining. Professional wrestling monkey just like me. Got lots of good spooky stories. Doors wide open. But we can't say another word without moving forward with bringing on the actual guest of honor. I've been chasing this guy for a while now. I finally got him nailed down. He's a hot commodity. Mr. Paul Dale Roberts, God damn it!
Thank you, Rob.
Yes. For those of you who don't know out there, this guy is a really predominant ghost hunter. He's also an author of like 20 books, something like that.
Actually, it's about 73 now.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
It was 20 last time we talked. I thought he was going to say, no, dude, it's 21 now.
Yeah.
Must be like that.
Wow.
Yeah, every time
I'm going to give you...
every time I do an investigation, I write an article. That article goes into a compilation, into a book, and when it's all completed, about 50 pages, bam, I publish it.
Nice. Have to get our hands on some of those.
Yeah.
Alright, so hey, we got our first commenter on the new stream. What's up, Miss Stephanie?
Hey, baby.
It's always good to hear from somebody you're prettier than me, because they're very few and far between. Alright, so most people would say let's jump right to Paul and get one, but we don't want to supersede everybody else's. Danny boy. The pipes. Okay, it's your turn. Tell me something spooky. What happened to you?
Alright, so we were visiting some friends in California, and she kept telling us about, she's had some spirits, something, weird stuff going on in her house, you know. So the first thing that we had was her cigarettes came missing, and that was one of the things that she said that was happening, like shit was getting displaced. And I figured she's getting old, she was a partier, so who knows what actually was really going on. So it was a great friend of ours, you know. We weren't there going ghost hunting or anything. We were just visiting a friend. And so she told us about all this stuff that was happening. It's hard for me, even though I've experienced stuff, it's hard for me to believe when people are telling me the stories. You know, I'm always mad. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. You know, sure, buddy. Anyway, so the cigarettes, we all were looking for the cigarettes. The cigarettes were on the table like 2 hours later, where everybody had looked, and they're just sitting right there. And I was like, that is kind of weird. And then the dartboard would go off, and she said it's unplugged. And of course, I was like, yeah, sure. And I went in there and looked, and sure as shit, the dartboard was unplugged, and it's still making noises like somebody's throwing the darts. It was one of them electric ones. And it was like somebody was throwing the darts in there, and the score was adding up, and the thing was on. And that was a little off, but so my stuff came missing. I had this little jar pot and a bowl. And I know everybody's like, oh, you're a stoner, you forgot where it was at. You know, no, it was gone. It picked up and left. And it was special to me. somebody gave me a friend of mine gave me the bowl, so it meant a lot. I started to cuss this thing out, whatever it was. I'm like, yeah, and, of course, I'm the tough guy. I'm like, you fucked with the wrong person now. You're taking my shit, blah blah blah. And I said some like really bad stuff.
So you started being douchebag Zach Baggins style.
Even worse.
Ghost. Okay.
No, even worse. I've watched him, and yeah, I would have to say even worse. Like I wish I told him whatever it was. I said I hope you died a horrible death. I hope your children died with you. Like I was being a complete dick about it. So that night, I'm sleeping in their theater room, and there's no windows in there at all or nothing, and the dog's in there with me.
And the
dog woke me up, screamed. He was like making these weird, I would call it like a growling scream that the dog was doing, and I could see the dog, and he's standing up, and all the hair on his back was razor back, and he's looking up in the corner of the room. And as I sat up to see what he was seeing, a great big steel picture fell and right off the wall and landed right where my head was. And so I started to freak out a little bit about that. The next day, they lived on a mountain, and their backyard went up like a triangle up to a point at the top. So I walked up the mountain and went up there, and I was physically like something happened. I can't explain it. I saw like a white light coming up the fence line it was the neighbor's yard. So I hear people. I heard somebody walking. I thought it was a flashlight at first, but it was like a weirdish, more of like a green. Like I don't know if you've seen like the Northern Lights, how they have like a greenish glow. That's kind of how it was coming up on the side of the fence. And I'm hearing somebody walking to where I'm going. Hey, I was talking to it like, hey, I'm here at Rick and Colleen's house, and I just came up the backyard and blah blah blah. Nobody's saying nothing. I'm going, hello. Nobody's saying nothing. Then all of a sudden, it felt like something had went into my ear, and this is the part where it's funky, dude. It felt like something went in my ear, and my head blew up with air or something, and like made a wave through my whole head, and it was a very weird experience. Like I wish I can have people feel how it felt. And then I got really scared. I got cold. I got the goosebumps going on, and still at this point, I'm really not thinking. I really thought somebody was on the other side of the fence. I really thought it was the neighbors, And the wife, she wound up coming out, and we were sitting out. I told her, what was going on. I didn't feel right and all that. And then she started to see, like, we were looking down on the yard, and it looked like you could see shadow people all over their backyard. That night, I wound up going to sleep. I woke up, I had marks on me. The people that we went to see started fighting, and, like, it was a horrible, like, I know our friend she was very aggressive. I didn't know her new boyfriend, I had just met him. But, like, they turned into something that I didn't know what it was. Me, my wife, and my son was there. We wound up getting in the car, and I packed all my shit, and we wound up leaving. My wife's back there trying to show me stuff. What did he tell me? The scratches. Yeah, I woke up with, I had huge scratches on my leg, and that were completely, I couldn't explain any of that. I got to go back a day for.
I really hate to burst your bubble, but that was me and Doug the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was that night. I didn't go back down to the theater room. I wound up staying in the kid's bedroom, one of the kids' bedrooms. And as I was laying there, I could see like what looked like pixelated something. I see movement on the wall, and it looked like fuzz or something. and I started to watch it, and it was coming into the room, and it was like growing, and then all of a sudden I could hear it, and it sounded like somebody messing with cigarette cellophane. As this thing was growing on the wall, it was like making this weird noise, like playing with cellophane. And then that night when I went to sleep, that was the night that I got scratched. And then we wound up running. I literally, when I say we ran out of the house, we ran out of the house. The boyfriend was like, I need you to stay here as a witness. And I'm like, as a witness? He's like, what the fuck? I'm like, we're leaving. And he's like, no, dude, because if she hits me, I'm gonna fucking kill her. Like, turned into he was this little timid guy, and all of a sudden he turned into this, like, I don't want to say a raging maniac, but they became raging fucking maniacs. I'm like, dude, we're leaving. And we left with our tail between our legs. Wound up when I got home, I started to hear, I'm watching wrestling, and I'm sitting in my chair, and my dog is looking into the dining room, and the dog starts, like making like little woof, 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 like he's looking like what the fuck is that, you know, kind of barking and growling real lightly. So, with the experience that I had, I turned my phone on, and I was just recording over my shoulder, wasn't saying nothing, and I could hear that crackling cellophane. I wound up getting on video, which I wish I had. I'm trying to charge the phone. I was trying to see if I can get it to you. All of a sudden, it looked like a guinea pig shadow manifested on the table. It was on the wall. I could see the shadow, dude. It was one of the most crazy experiences where I was like, holy shit, something is going on. So whatever we were involved with in California, we had brought back with us, because then my children started to come up and they started to tell me stuff that they started to see. And it always was like, the one, I found a newspaper from, it was like, say, I'm just going to throw out a date. It was like October 19th, 1926. I found it stuffed in the wall. And I found it on October 19th, like 2010 or whatever the day was. It was the exact day on the newspaper. And my daughter came down and she said, Daniel came up and sat on the bed and
Was
said...
it 1922?
No, actually it was when Soldier Field was being built.
Candace, you're a goddamn liar. You know what you're talking about.
Oh, was it 1922? It probably was. It probably was.
What do you make of that, Paul? What's some, like you just heard a client telling you an experience. What's your gut to that?
That was some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the scratches and everything else, it sounds like it's something that's demonic. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a ghost. Yeah, that's some serious stuff.
It's much
Yeah,
harder
and
for a ghost to attach themselves and follow you, right? That's more of a demon thing.
Right. It's a demon thing. Yeah, ghosts
Yeah.
don't usually follow. I mean, they have no purpose to really follow you. They don't know your house. They're comfortable where they're at. And it seems like there's like a paranormal wall that keeps them from going outside. So, unless, like with these ghosts, if you take an object, let's say a grandmother's diary, and you bought it from this antique store, you brought it to your house, now they have the ability to go from point A to point B. They're haunting this one house because they lived there all their life, but now they can go to your house because you have grandma's diary. And so grandma the ghost is going to follow you because of that diary. Her energy is surrounding that diary.
It's funny you say that because the guy that, the boyfriend, was a collector and he had just bought a whole bunch of Civil War stuff.
Okay.
Guns, and he was a gun collector. He had like over 300 guns. A lot of them were new, but a lot of them were used. Some of them were from the Civil War and stuff. Bullets.
So then,
he had a bunch of stuff like that.
so then realistically, for all you know, like that could have followed anybody who has been over, depending on how many spirits he picked up from those relics, right? If he had a whole bunch of them, and one took flight with one guest every time, his house is a fucked up place to go.
Yeah. Like as the wife says, I dubbed it the Devil's Den. it was one of as soon as I walked in the door, I'm not saying I'm clairvoyant or anything, but I walk into a place and I can feel it's like I don't know, pressure. I get I'm off. I always tell people it's like starting off a bad acid trip is how I feel when I know there's something not right in the something either bad happened here or I absorb that for.
So as soon as the dinglies turn into needles, you know shit's gonna go bad.
Yeah, I get depressed. Sometimes you feel like you just want to cry. Sometimes you get really angry. I get hot and I'll start sweating. Like I'm just off, and I usually try to tell people and I told her when I walked in that house, I'm like, dude, this place is fucked, man. Every place. So her ex-husband, I don't want to talk too bad about the girl because she is my friend and she's recently passed away. So she had some type of an attachment to her. Her husband said it anywhere she went, bad things, weird things happen and bad things happen. She was a great person. She'd lived some rough times, So when I was telling her ex-husband about what was going on, and he started to tell me a little bit about his reactions to that, interactions that he had, and he said, of course, it was nothing like that, but the pixelation on the wall and the crackling noises that was coming from that started in the gun room where he had all his guns at and worked its way down the hallway. So I don't know if it was something from her or if it was something from there, but whatever she had never left her house. She had it until the day she had passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a pretty weird experience that where I really started to because I partook in partying and did a lot of psychedelics, so some of them shadow people stuff I always what the fuck was that? It's just my mind, was clouded, or it's something from that past from partying.
It's the cold fucking cane.
Yeah. It was there was no partying really involved in that situation, and it was just fucking horrible. Like I realized then I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit, and then to come home with it, and it's still like we saw little kids in the house. I had an Xbox thrown at me, and I tried to recreate it as much as I was jumping up on the floors, trying to make the floor bounce to see if it was my fat ass walking past it, and and it flew off. But the way it spun and came at me as an angle, if it would have fallen, it just would have fallen straight off the shelf and onto the floor. But it actually spun a little bit.
Was it the controller or the whole Xbox?
It was the whole Xbox. It was broken, and my kid had brought it downstairs and put it on our. My wife has an old antique bar that she put it on top of, and it flew probably at the angle. It flew probably 6 feet from where it was sitting at, and it spun as it did it. And I tried so hard to recreate it. And,
right. Yeah, those
I just couldn't do it, and it was. I don't know if it was. All this stuff involved, but I wound up doing research on the house, trying to find out who was in our house. I did research on her house, there was no murders or nothing. My house, there was no murders, but I did find a girl died right down the street from us in the 1800s in a tornado. Her name was Lottie, and we used to go to the graveyard every 4th of July to watch the fireworks, and there was some soldiers that were buried up there, so we sat up there with them and we would watch the fireworks. And one day I was like, let's go find Lottie, and I went, of course, to the furthest part of the graveyard because she died